Hello, this is the last day for this book that I'll be reading from this book. This was book 2 for June. As we're starting this, I guess, I don't know what you call it, like a book club or book readings or just general information. And I already have the book that I'll start tomorrow, Policing Black Men, since that is what is in the air or that started, or one of the things that started us to these protests. But let's continue in the case for reparations. Essay. It's just one essay in this book. Liberals today mostly view racism not as an active, distinct evil, but as a relative of white poverty and inequality. They ignore the long tradition of this country actively punishing black success and the elevation of that punishment. In the mid 20th century, two federal policy. President Lyndon Johnson may have noted in his historic civil rights speech at Howard University in 1965 that Negro poverty is not white poverty, but his advisors and their successors were and still are loath to craft any policy that recognizes the difference. After his speech, Johnson convened a group of civil rights leaders, including the esteemed A. Philip Randolph and Bayard Rustin, to address the ancient brutality. In a strategy paper, they agreed with the president that Negro poverty is a special and particularly destructive form of American poverty. But when it came to specifically addressing the particularly destructive, Rustin's group demurred, preferring to advance programs that addressed all the poor, black and white. Isn't this going on today between Black Lives Matter and other black groups? Damn, it's so weird. Nothing changes. The urge to use the moral force of black struggle to address broader inequalities originates in both compassion and pragmatism, but it makes for ambiguous policy. Affirmative action's precise aims, for instance, have always proved elusive. Is it meant to make amends for the crimes heaped upon black people? Not according to the Supreme Court in its 1978 ruling in Regents of the University of California v. Bakke. The court rejected societal discrimination as an amorphous concept of injury that may be ageless in its reach into the past. Is affirmative action meant to increase diversity? If so, it only tangentially relates to the specific problems of black people, the problem of what America has taken from them over the centuries, from us. This confusion about affirmative actions aims, along with our inability to face up to the particular history of white-imposed black disadvantage, dates back to the policy's origins. This is no fixed and firm definition of affirmative action. An appointee in Johnson's Department of Labor declared, affirmative action is anything that you have to do to get results, but this does not necessarily include preferential treatment. Yet America was built on preferential treatment of white people. 395 years of it, vaguely endorsing a cuddly feel-good diversity, does very little to address this. Today, progressives are loath to invoke white supremacy as an explanation for anything. On a practical level, the hesitation comes from the dim view the Supreme Court has taken of the reforms of the 1960s. The Voting Rights Act has been gutted. The Fair Housing Act may well be next. Affirmative action is on its last legs. In substituting a broad class struggle for an anti-racist struggle, progressives hope to assemble a coalition of changing the subject. The politics of racial evasion and are seductive, but the record is mixed. Aid to families with dependent children was originally written largely to exclude blacks. Yet, by the 1990s, it was perceived as a giveaway to blacks. The Affordable Care Act makes no mention of race, but this does not keep Rush Limbaugh from denouncing it as reparations. Moreover, the Act's expansion of Medicaid was effectively made optional, meaning that many poor blacks in the former Confederate states do not benefit from it. The Affordable Care Act, like Social Security, will eventually expand its reach to those left out. In the meantime, black people will be injured. All that it would take to sink the new WPA program would be some skillfully packaged footage of black men leaning on shovels smoking cigarettes, the sociologist Douglas S. Massey writes. Papering over the issue of race makes for bad social theory, bad research, and bad public policy. To ignore the fact that one of the oldest republics in the world was erected on a foundation of white supremacy, to pretend that the problems of a dual society are the same as the problems of unregulated capitalism, is to cover the sin of national plunder with the sin of national lying. The lie ignores the fact that reducing American poverty and ending white supremacy are not the same. The lie ignores the fact that closing the achievement gap will do nothing to close the injury gap, in which black college graduates still suffer higher unemployment rates than white college graduates, and black job applicants without criminal records enjoy roughly the same chance of getting hired as white applicants with criminal records. So I'll leave it there. That's basically what we're dealing with. And great essay, great book. We Were 8 Years in Power. Pick it up. There are 8 essays plus the case for reparations, and then there's an essay on black men in prison. Wonderful, wonderful book. It was a gift. I love it. I love the person who gave it to me. Thank you. Thank you for supporting me. And until next time, take care of your mind, take care of your body, and please be safe.